For our first exercise in Pilates mat, traditionally we would have the 100, but really the way I was taught through Brett Howard and the United States Pilates Association, now Classical Pilates USA, we start with the modified rollback. So the rollback is from the Cadillac, where we have the high sprung bar and we curl, we roll all the way back. The band assists us, or the bar assists us as we roll all the way back up and through again. We can do the same thing basically with our own body. So what we're going to be working through here is a weight shifting between your sits bones and your sacrum, and seeing in relation how we move pubic bone and sternum with that. Okay, so first we're going to take thumbs with palms on the belly of the hamstring, and we're going to use that connection to pull us forward on our sits bones. You'll notice I shift a little bit left, right, soft chin to get tall, wrapping my shoulders back. So I'm really standing tall in my sits bones. I take a big breath in. Exhaling, as I soften the sternum, I roll down into the sits bones, and then I roll back into sacrum. I can only go as far back as my feet can stay on the floor. My elbows are east-west. As I curl back in, my shoulders will naturally go up, out, and away. So what I like to think of as an introversion, those shoulder blades elevate, laterally rotate, protract. They come up, out, and away in order to open up that back hammock of the body while we're in sacrum. This is such an important position because when you take one knee to chest, other knee to chest, this is your rolling like a ball. This is also your teaser. Everything in the method is basically available from this one position. So we take a sniff here, exhaling, we curl forward as far as we can on the sacrum. Then we tip forward into the sits bones, nose to knee. Then we pull ourselves forward on sits bones, soft chin. We lift the heart, wrap the shoulders. Exhaling as we curl on the sits bone. We roll back to sacrum with wide elbows. We take a sniff. Exhaling as we curl, falling forward on sacrum, then to sits bone, nose to knee. And we pull forward, tall, tall, tall. The way I was traditionally taught this was to the shapes of the rest of the body, but in giving yourself a reference point of how to map that against your lowest weight-bearing segments. So sits bone, curl on sits bone, fall back to sacrum, sniff, fall forward as much as you can on sacrum, curling into yourself, falling forward nose to knee to sits bone, and then pulling yourself forward, soft chin, wrapping the shoulders, lifting the heart on sits bone. So this is giving us sort of our maximal constraints of extension, flexion of the spine, but also in terms of how we rotate the shoulders with that. And to give us our maximum constraints and boundaries to see what we're really maximally capable of in those two positions. So one more time I'm just gonna have thumbs with palms on the belly of the hamstring as we roll forward into the sits bones. I shift a little bit left, right. That's that Judith Aston feathering. Soft chin, we lift the heart. Exhaling as we curl on the sits bone. Sternum to pubic bone, nose to knee. We roll back into sacrum. We take a sniff. We curl deeper into ourselves at sacrum, falling forward only as far as we can keep in our sacrum. Then we shift into sits bone, nose to knee. Then we pull forward, wrapping the shoulders, standing tall through the sits bones at our neutral. And we would repeat again. In order to transition to the 100, we curl, sternum to pubic bone. We start to lean back into the body of the sacrum. We release the arms, and now in order to transition to your 100, we're going to keep our weight center in our sacrum as we come back. If you start to notice that you begin to roll into your low back, keep your weight instead in your sacrum and start to let the legs softly extend away from you on the floor in order to maintain a weight center in your sacrum, and then we're able to come to the ground with total control. Again, I can't stress enough how important this exercise is. This really gives us a chance to wake the system up in flexion and extension of the spine, or introversion and extroversion of our, what Joe Pilates called our powerhouse, that line of our shoulders to hips. And from there, we'll go on to the 100.